YouTube as a company is doing very bad for its creators, and basically it's pretty bad at this point. Leafy has been terminated. A lot of other YouTubers have been terminated. The commentary community is basically scared out of its mind. Everyone's going crazy. And I feel like we have one person to blame, and that's Susan at this point. Susan has basically been CEO for about 6 years, and she's ruined the YouTube in 2 years. Within the 2 years she's been CEO. Maybe 5 years. It's debatable what time you think Susan started ruining YouTube. But today I want to talk about why YouTube is bad and how you can fix it. Also, please consider subscribing to this channel. This channel videos take a while to work on, and yeah, I love making these videos, but I can't always make these videos because I need some support. But with further ado, let's start the video. The guidelines aren't good, as you know. The guidelines on YouTube are made for 4-year-olds, and it's very unfair. These guidelines are very unfair because they're made for, of course, 4-year-olds. For people who follow channel. But it's very corrupt. The guidelines are very corrupt. Okay, here's how it works. Oh, watch this. So basically, if you have 10 million or more subscribers, hey, you don't have to follow the guidelines. Just make us some money. Just make us that bricks. Make it. But if you have less than 10 million, oh, follow the guidelines. If you don't follow them, we're gonna come after you. We're gonna shut down your channel. Yeah, that's how the guidelines are. Yeah, I'm gonna come after you, and we're gonna shut them. And there's a lot of things that are worse that YouTube has done, like this. How YouTube treats the monetization is really bad at this point. It's really robbing of money at this point. David Dobrik claimed that the monthly paycheck would be 1/3 of his views count, which basically he got 600k views, he got $200k of money, of pure cash, and all that. And now he's getting 1 million views, and he gets a monthly payment of around $2,000. Okay. If you don't see that, that means YouTube has basically reduced the money of how much people are doing, showing how greedful and selfish are. They reduced it by a lot. And when I mean a lot, a lot. Making YouTubers are supposed to make a lot of money. And let me point out something. If they were originally getting 1/3 of how many views, so basically 3 views would equal $1. Basically. And now let me point something out quickly. That a YouTuber like DanTDM getting so much money at the time of him getting an average of 4 million views. And if we count a month and a month and a month, he would have 120 views, making that to come up to an estimate of having to pay 1/3, making that an estimate of around $60 million a month. That's just an example. I don't know if DanTDM gets paid that much by views. I really can't. But that's how much money he's supposed to get a month. $60 million. But since YouTube's being unfair and basically drained a lot of money, he's he's barely getting a K. He's getting money in the K. Okay. Basically he's getting 100K. Around 100 to 500K. And basically a yearly amount would equal 100. And that just shows basically how YouTube treats its money and treats its creators. It basically robs so much money from creators at this point that it has more than enough money to give back to the community, but it doesn't. I wonder why. YouTube's termination and copyright claims, or like takedown claims, they're all bad. They're all bad and meant for just because they feel like it's for the children, and they feel like that's scary for children. Um, First off, termination can go from videos from your past. I think if you're gonna make a new a new, you know, a new guideline, do not apply it to past videos. Applying it to past videos will just make people mad and obvious, just taking down videos just because. And that also shows that you just want to take down the video precisely for that reason. And then there's two claims: bullying, harassment, and violence. Violence, you shouldn't claim that because there's a lot of violent video games, and if you did that, this would kind of probably peeve up a lot of gaming channels and probably move to Twitch and probably make a lot of people mad. The makers. Because game makers usually do get revenue from this because it brings more players in. And that's a move. Anyways, termination claims are BS as well. They're basically bullying harassment. The bullying harassment claims is basically breaking the law. And I will explain that later. Actually, I'll explain it right now. How YouTube breaks the law is basically breaking the First Amendment. And I know how Congress and political stuff is basically corrupt right now, but still, the amendments still matter. And YouTube basically broke, like, the First Amendment, that it's freedom of speech. By claiming stuff that is bullying harassment, you can't do that. That's people's opinion. And that's technically breaking the law of shutting down anything that is what people believe and all that. That's wrong. You can't do that, YouTube, because that bullying harassment claim is countering someone who actually does bullying harassment, and basically that's showing you're bullying harassment and breaking the law of letting freedom of speech happen, and that's just bad. My conclusion is basically revolution is soon gonna come. YouTube has been put in this place double times today of what happened with Moist Critical and basically Markiplier. So basically there's a lot of stuff going on, but the revolution is coming. It's either YouTube adapts to it or it's gonna be French Revolution. Honestly, what I think is that YouTube needs to calm down. They need to think about what they're doing and communicate more with their people, and they shouldn't do anything that's unfair and only would make their company happy. They had to do it for the people as well, because the people will revolt and just leave the website. And by chance, two things will happen. Everyone will move to Firstory, and Firstory by chance will probably ban companies, or two, YouTube will have a revolution and everything will be equal, peaceful or
Oh, fucking brutal revolution. You know what I'm saying, man?
Okay, anyways, please subscribe. I know it's not much, but please subscribe. I give you cookie. Cookie good, right? Please. I really mean it.